is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
What does such a huge system want with this place?
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners? Who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
8% of all cargo in the world. That's quite the endeavor.
There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a system means thousands lose their jobs, the world over. I'm here to assure that doesn't happen.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
What can you tell me about the strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
What's your role?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbor. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Tell me about the behemoth.
What can I say? The union employs a giant covered in tattoos.
Oh, we were looking for a muscly boy
a racist
earlier.
Giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organization now.
How were the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
He looks at his notes.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
What are their demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes, every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
Over-aggressive commie posturing.
In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker, a member of the board.
They probably don't even know what that means.
Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
That's pretty funny, I have to admit.
They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution.
What are you going to do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assumed that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
And what happened to Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it?
She pauses to compose herself.
Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Okay then.
Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
Sounds like usual aggressive posturing.
Tell me about the union boss, Mr. Clare.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Evrart is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
That bad?
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Wait, there are two of him?
Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Evrart does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the union itself, outside of the Brothers Clare?
The Debardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
A mob. The Debardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Evrart and his brother.
She turns to you.
And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Debardeurs Union is...
A socialist mob.
Thank you for being candid. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the wolf always hungers.
One more thing. You said something happened in the elections?
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
Some kind of extortion, probably?
Indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do. It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Alright, that's all I need here. Let's change the topic.
Of course. How else can I help?
You're on a boat!
Why, yes I am.
She looks at the deck under her feet. Green and white sails flutter overhead. Does she have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
The word "it" feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Okay, but what kind of boat is it?
It's a pleasure craft. A 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
Cool, but your boat really needs a name.
Okay. How about Cordelati 19? Why?
She taps on the side of the boat. It makes a hollow sound.
Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordelati, and its hull is 19 paces long.
How about the sleek fish?
What?
Because it's sleek and fish-like.
I think I'll stick with the factory name. But thank you.
Do you like your boat?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
What? The eel's hips.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
I'm glad you're loving it, Kim.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Not a lot of people on boats.
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get
Archipelago,
around?
it means the chain of islands.
There is a pinch of defensiveness in her voice, but it is playful.
Wait, we're on an archipelago? Look around.
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Still, I haven't seen anyone else on a boat around here.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
She's having a good time arguing against the law. Too good, perhaps.
Alright, I think I have a handle on the boat thing.
Good.
Jason Carax gifted a tier 1 sub to Archie_Pelago. They have given 348 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you, Asen. Appreciate the gifted sub to Archie Pelago. Asen, I heard your voice today. I heard your voice. I'm in your walls.
Jason Carax gifted a tier
Not in
1
your
sub
walls.
to my
Asen was guesting on
_man_down
Noxie's stream
_
today.
Tori. They have
He
given
was a
349 gift subs in the channel.
Asen was a dwarven cleric. I got there right as he rolled to do something, and he goes, "Oh God!" And he apparently rolled really bad. He goes, "Can I use my inspiration to re-roll?" And Noxie said, "You may." And he rolled again, and he goes, "Oh God!" And she goes, "What happened?" He goes, "I rolled the same thing." And Shy Patch says, "Can he use my inspiration?" And Noxie said yes. And Asen rolled a third time, and he goes, "Oh God!" And then Shy Patch was like, "Does anyone else have inspirations?" And I was just like, "Lol." And then Noxie told the wizard to do a strength check, and the wizard said, "A strength check!" And like their voice squeaked a bit, and yeah, it was classic D&D. Thanks. That's all for now.
Of course, Detective. Take care.
Put. Thank you for the gifted subs. Poor Asen. Yeah, I didn't see what happened after that. Moved on to other things. Okay, so we were just right there. All right. You hear the distant squall of seabirds. Nothing I can't do, I'm the job for every man. Yellow plastic bag free. Oh wait, didn't I have something over here I needed a bag for? I think it was the trash or something. Oh, I can't interact with it now. A splatter of bullet holes lines the wall? What the heck? To be fair, all those are attack throws for guiding bolt at 4th level that went poorly. Sounds like that bolt needed guidance. Lol. Luffy said, wait, Gin says, you have to equip the bag. Wait, what? Are you serious? Oh my god. Tim, you're standing in front of the loot. Okay. This game is fantastic. I went with a ridiculously high inland empire level, and it intruded in everything, so I played through with largely the character making up crazy supernatural things. Okay. How do I unlock it? Unlock a new slot to research thought. You use a level up point on that. Oh. Okay.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to enjoy the game, alright?
You are a man with a fork and a world of soup.
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't ask questions. Shoot first. Ask questions never.
Shouldn't I ask what game it is first?
No, you got this. There's the ball. You're the game.
I better observe them first.
See? Your munching and complaining have ruined my concentration.
The man throws a metal ball toward a smaller wooden ball in the sand, missing it by a meter.
Ah,
That's
mon Dieu.
huge.
The pain in my back is unbearable. I can't even say if it's in my back or hip anymore. Feels like it's in both.
He tries to measure the throw.
I hope you pass out from it. You goddamn jellyfish. Men like you are the reason this nation is sinking.
What? Standing tall and proud, he looks at his partner with disgust.
Shush. Ignore them. They don't know what they're doing. They're old. You are letting down yourself and the team. Get in the damn game already.
Wait, what team?
Doesn't matter what team. Pick a team. Any team. The blue team. You're letting them down. Get in the game and throw the goddamn ball.
Why are you so mean to me?
Eyes on the ball, Dinky Winky.
A moment of your time, fellows?
Sure, officer. I am René Arnaud. And my specially abled partner here is Gaston Martin.
Especially able.
How can we help you?
Your name's Rene? Do you know anything about the man hanged in the backyard of Whirling in Rags?
Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. But this affair has passed me by completely.
And most of the locals?
In Martinez, the union is the law. So can you really blame them?
But you don't have a problem with cops?
Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire the effort to bring order to our streets.
So again, you don't know anything?
If I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you. I simply don't. I'm an old man, not a coward. The daily business of the riffraff no longer concerns me.
'Tis true, sire. He knows nothing. This is a man with a lot of past, but little present, and almost no future.
You seem to be playing in a crater.
Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game.
Does it have anything to do with all the bullet holes around it?
Yes. It was left by heavy artillery fire.
Okay, it's a crater from heavy artillery fire. Why?
Why what?
Why was heavy artillery used here?
Because that's what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home.
Did you use heavy artillery fire?
Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought
like,
them
"I
to
wish."
Belize. We fought valiantly. Too valiantly. So valiantly we got licked.
He adds squeezing a bouillet in his fist. RNG loves me. Thank you for the tier 1 sub, RNG. Appreciate you. Welcome.
Should have fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and
What?
mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bombs. We didn't though, and we lacked caliber. God bless him, but the suzerain's cannons simply weren't big enough.
It was probably a bit more complicated than that.
Why shell them here in Martinez?
Because this place is a damn beachhead. Had to soften the commies up first.
The beachhead?
Yes, the military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Revachol.
He finds your lack of historic knowledge troubling, a sign of mental deterioration in the preceding generations.
Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris and the Delta.
Nod thoughtfully and turn to look northeast.
This here is Blood Ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely, we're playing pétanque on their mangled corpses.
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hungry enough already.
That explains all the war damage.
Damn right, son. They laid the fire of hell on the city before they stormed it. And it worked, too.
There's a strange gleam in his eyes.
The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically running the place.
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame, never finished the job. Officially, the party never surrendered. Of course they still hold influence.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players on the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the... What do you think?
Thinking men have opinions on these things. Present one.
Oh my god. Commies just don't understand how money works.
No, they don't. But I'm sorry it had to be the coalition. After 8 years of fighting rabid commies, boiling cats for food and drinking piss in the mountains,
He takes a deep breath.
I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned through Revachol. Or even if that damn clan Frisel had risen from the grave and led us. Sadly, that was not the case.
This royal failure weighs heavily on him.
Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs with toothpaste ads everywhere.
Not the toothpaste.
Foreign influence peddling garbage and stupid music on the radio. This is just what the commies wanted. This was their plan all along. This is what they wanted to replace the role of the suzerain with.
Okay. And what is a suzerain?
The suzerain is the king. Has everyone forgotten already?
I'm sorry.
They forgotten already.
Soon, they will forget everything. Him too. Then he chooses anger over melancholy.
It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. When we took our last stand against the filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire.
Yo, I found this gun. Anything you can tell me about this antique rifle?
It's a Bell McGrave. 4.46 caliber. Breech loading. Revachol made. Good weapon. Accurate and reliable. This one's inoperable. The bolt spring is missing and the mechanism is jammed shut. Still a beauty. Where did you find her?
In the basement there, in the bookshop.
I'm not surprised. There are probably lots of forgotten wartime weapons lying around here. Back in the day, everyone had something stashed away. As for the rifle, I don't know what else to tell you. These BM-446s are an antique. No one uses them anymore. The ammunition is impossible to find.
Thanks for your time. Okay.
I have really outdone myself. This is divine.
He takes a bite out of his sandwich.
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston. More padding on that fat arse of yours. I hope your heart gives out.
René, it's a little pleasures. Life doesn't need to be a struggle. Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day?
Do you know about anything about the dead guy?
Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week. But that's all I know, really.
Shame. Maybe you could help me with something else then.
Of course, officer. I mean, I hope I can. What's on your mind?
That looks delicious. Can I try a bite?
I'm sorry, officer, but I really don't share food. Nothing personal, it's just a principle.
The only one you have.
Don't be No, I'm not pressing that. Okay.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. You must have other business then.
8% convince him to take him a sandwich. What are the rules of your game?
Oh, the goal is to throw your bull. As close to the cochonnet as you can.
This is like pool?
That's the cochonnet.
Oh, it's, what is it? So it's kind of like darts or curling. Alright, that's all I need.
You'll put that knowledge to good use in 50 years. I'm sure of that.
The world building
officer.
is sort of intended to be confusing as layer upon layer of history and ideology over and over again. Lots of repeating themes. That's the point, I think.
I don't like where this is going, officer. Don't you think we should do something else now?
Sure, we got a case to solve.
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
Some great tectonic forces cracked the pavement like an eggshell. Okay. Alright. I am going to save it here, and we will continue with Disco Elysium next time.